Welcome to another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Kevin McLemore. I'm your show host. I am joined with my wonderful group of friends that just happen to be the co-host of this show. I can't do it without Dwayne. I can't do it without Naheem, Larnez, Denise. Oh, Lois over there in Jamaica. She's coming to you. And I can't do it without the truth. And believe it or not, I got two lovebirds that sit here every single Sunday. I got my sailor friend, okay? I got my wifey friend, oh Christopher and Gilda. We're all doing it. And this show cannot be the show that it is without the silky smooth sound of our voice, Mr. Otis Spencer. And so, for ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what we do, this quote came about from the 300 motivational quotes I created from the contents of my book. Being a person that studies human behavior, Naheem and we got together and we was always curious. How does one quote land to one person to another? Were there words that just laid there on a page or were there conversations to be had? And outside of that conversation, look what we did. We've been going on the air for almost 3 years. August 4th will be our fourth, and we have just been killing it. And today we're bringing a special quote. We just celebrated Memorial Day, and we have our military people here on here. We honor you. We respect you and the things you do. The world is crazy right now. We're divided. Hopefully, one day this show will bring everyone together. But before we go on, I'm going to ask the voice of our show, Mr. Otis Spencer, to go ahead and deliver our quote today.
Happy Sunday, everyone. To quote today is, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor," by Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
All right, FDR, a smooth sea. All right, we're going to see how rough it's going to get today on the show. We're going to find out why Christopher brought this quote. Christopher, how does this quote connect with you?
Grand Rising, everyone, and peace to the world. Hey, look, this quote, besides being extremely nautical in nature, was delivered by one of what I consider one of the best presidents we ever had. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, besides the multiple terms because of the conflict that we're involved in, was a man who went way beyond his limitations, went way beyond his physical ailments and shortcomings. And I couldn't say whether or not this quote in any way he was reflecting on his own personal superiorities. I'll use that word, but he saw that you don't get to be armored or tested or steeled through an easy life. It's the difficulties in life that make you who you are. And I just love the fact that he, so eloquently put a smooth sea, a skilled sailor never makes. It's basically a easy life never made a hard man. It's funny because FDR said that, and I can say he's one of our greater presidents. So many years ago, perfectly pictured our current situation of a president who has been, I don't know, I won't say blessed, I'll say cursed with an easy life. And through that, he developed no real internal testitude. He's not a very strong man. But now I'll move away from politicality.
Politics is fine.
I'll go away from politics and reflect on my own life. I entered the Navy completely, soft, no idea what life was all about. I entered the Navy at 18. I sold my car because I figured I wouldn't need it, because I would go straight into the Navy to some tropical island, and they'd be like, hula dancers with these coconut drinks, and I wouldn't need my car. Well, unbeknownst to me, I spent the first 2 years of the Navy going to school. I mean, like it was like how naive can a guy be? But through those 26 years of naval service, I learned quite a bit. I was faced with situations I'd never imagined, and through those, I survived. And through that survival meant taking on armor, taking on knowledge, taking on skills, taking on those things that, even though I had an idea of what life was going to be like, taking on skills that, without a doubt, allowed me to achieve what I've achieved, or to live the life that I've been able to live. And that wouldn't have happened had life been handed to me, had life been easy, had life been, basically controlled, or let's say served by somebody else. I had to go out there and do it myself. And through that self-teaching, if you want to call it that, I was able to develop into a person who was capable not of handling everything, but one skill that I, without a doubt, developed is the ability to take on the unknown with the forethought that, okay, I'll figure out what's required to get to the other end. So a smooth sea, never a skilled sailor made. If you look at that in contrast, the tougher the sea, the tougher the situation, the stronger the man will come out the other side.
Right. Right. Life is not easy. Even though Lionel said easy like Sunday morning, there's
Mhm.
7 days in a week, so 6 of them had to be rough for him to write that song. Easy like Sunday morning. I will tell you, when you talk about a smooth sea, I know our one sister over here wish she had her feet in the water right now because she's sitting over in Jamaica. She's trying not to sweat on camera. We thank you so much. I mean, this is, you always know who your real friends are. Even on vacation, we show up. All right. You don't have to. Even on vacation, there's a time difference between here and Jamaica, and she shows up looking pretty. Lois, how's this quote land on you?
Grand Rising. I'm happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So, smooth. When I think of smooth, there's nothing smooth but a smoothie, a real good smoothie. And being in the medical field, I know what it takes, just like what Chris was saying. It hasn't been easy, but I stood the course because I knew from my heart what I wanted to do. And maybe I didn't think it would have been so difficult, but it was. And every step of the way, I can't say I did it by myself. I sought help. I received help. I was given or asked, do you need help? Whatever you needed. Someone was always there to help to make this transition so much easier, smoother. So, but there's no time that I thought in my head that it would be easy. And even after accomplishing my first goal, that was just the first goal. What comes next? Like every day is a challenge for me at work, despite what you may think or how you may it's really maybe your attitude or your peace of mind or the knowledge of what you know and the people around you who is always there to help. That's what makes my role smoother. So and with that, I'm always willing and available to help whoever that I may see may struggling or need some help or some kind of assistance. Kevin, don't get me wrong, I can't swim. I love the water, but I cannot swim. But I'm sure someone will hold my hand and kind of, I'll walk up to here in the water and be safe and comfortable. So, but I love the water. But my safe space is on the sand, don't get me wrong, with
I'm
some
Right.
down
good
there with
Jamaican beer or something.
I'm going to tell you, most of our listeners are trying to find out your location so they can go ahead and hold your hand while you're wading in the water. All right. They're
Thank
lining
you.
up. I can tell you. Oh, my phone's buzzing now.
Mm.
Okay.
it.
Wow, look at you.
Wow. Yeah.
Smooth talker, smooth talker.
Hey, Otis, she's talking about you. Smooth. Well, if you want to hear
But
smooth
you're the
talker,
smooth operator.
yeah. If you want to hear something smooth, all right, this brother puts the S and the double O in smooth every single day. He's Cubana, all right. He is a star. And talking about when you talk about, you know, um life skills and smooth sailing and rough seas, no man has had it rougher than Naheem Garcia. All right. When you in that business of acting, in that world, when you show up in that world, being the best version of you and your future, your livelihood is all decided on a decision on how you impress one individual or who or she owes a favor to. That man knows what it feels like to be on the rough seas. All right. So Naheem, how does this quote land on you?
It's interesting that the simpler the quote is, the harder it gets. Um, but what this quote, how this quote hit me is, if it wasn't for wrong, I wouldn't know what right is. That's how this quote hits me. There has to be, in order to get to the smooth seas, you gotta go through some rough waters, and or else you won't learn. As they say, knowledge is attained by degrees. So in order to obtain it, you got to study, you got to focus, you got to retain, you got to dissect, and then you got to apply. So this is how that quote hit at me, very simply. If it wasn't for wrong, I wouldn't know what right is. In order to get to the smooth seas, you got to go through some rough waters.
And for those of our listeners that are under the age of 25, remember this: education is not designed to make you comfortable. It's designed to make you think. So you pay attention what Mr. Naheem Garcia just said to you. All right? Right or wrong, pay attention. All right? We got some educators here on our staff, on our team. Like, excuse me, let me correct myself. I'm going to tell you, you may think that Tara Banks has something on every single other female in life. The only thing she's got on this one is she's taller. All right? But I'm going to tell you, when someone is bringing the fire, ooh, you better suit up because it's about to get hot. How's it going, Denise?
It's going. It's going. I'm kind of sad a little bit because one of my friends passed away, but I'm doing
Sorry,
well. So
sorry for your loss.
thank you. Uh, this quote is my life. I came to United States when I was 14. No mother. I'm gonna get emotional. You guys know I always get emotional. So no support at home. So it wasn't easy to be where I am right now. So I had to go for what I wanted. It was a new culture, a new uh, language, new food, people bullying me and stuff, and trying to say like I'm never gonna be. Even the guidance counselor was like, "Do you have shoes in Cape Verde? You shouldn't be going to college. You should be working at a factory." And I'm like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. That I could do what I'm meant to be, what I want to do. And for me, it's like God won't make you go through something if for no reason. There's always a reason for that. Like if I didn't go through where I went through, I wouldn't be able to grow and be the person that I am today and giving back to the students, to my community, and back to my country. And I'm grateful for the people that said, no, you're not going to make it. It was hard learning English. English was my fourth language. I learned Spanish before English. So I speak five languages. But when people at work, they look at me, I'm like, you only know one language. So I could say thank you. I could say good morning in like five languages. So my brain functions differently. And I remember when I started teaching, people were questioning my degree, if I had a bachelor's degree, if I had a master's degree. I'm like, I don't have to prove anything to you because I know who I am and I know what I've been through and where I'm going. So that's how it landed on me.
Well, that's good. You speak in five languages. You can make a six-figure income going to the UN being a translator. I
I
can
do
hear.
that. I translate and I just founded my language learning company. So I have the LLC. So I'm going to be start teaching ESL, Spanish, and Portuguese for now.
Wow,
Look
nice.
at that. Sign me up. I need to take a class. And you talk about going through some stuff. This young brother on our team is about to launch. If he hasn't launched his podcast already, he's got a big interview coming up tomorrow to talk about some of the stuff he's going through. when I say sometimes we dodge bullets, this man has dodged it literally. I only know a handful of people that's ever been shot at and lived to tell it. And this brother has written a book. He's got his podcast. Everyone loves him. He claims he lives in a place where they got the best barbecue. I'm going to go on a diet so I can get proof. I'm coming to you, Dwayne. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. We do have the best barbecue, so we'll just get that out of the way. But
Where's this place? Where's this place?
man, Paducah, Kentucky, we have the best barbecue, man. I'm telling you.
Sounds
know
like
you
a
got the
road
best
trip,
bourbon.
guys.
Yeah,
Sounds like a
we have
road
that
trip.
too. In Kentucky. Yeah, we absolutely do. About 3 hours away. So for me, this quote definitely hits home, but it reminds me of me being in middle school. My English teacher was talking about Robert Frost, talking about the two roads. You can choose the smooth one, or you can choose the more difficult one. And so I know as a little boy, I was like, I don't want to take that smooth road. I want to actually go through some stuff. And God definitely put me through that with the stuff that I had to face. The shooting was one thing, but the misdiagnosis was a whole different story. It was I was given a life sentence on one side, and then I was set free later on after I went through some stuff. And so the good thing about when you go through stuff, you come out a better person. I was on a podcast the other day and they asked me if I knew what I knew now, if I could change it, would I? And I said no. And the reason why is I wouldn't be able to make the impact that I wouldn't be able to make the impact that I am today. And so now with me being a resilience coach, um, other people can look to me to get through their stuff. And so I think the most important part is just to know that some people's journey is a little bit more bumpy. Maybe we have to go through bigger mountains, but we're supposed to get to wherever our destiny is at some point. And you can take a long road, like you can take a short route. If you go and you take your phone and you put in the map a destination, there are different routes to it. The roads still lead the same place. And so one of the things I do want to say is I've always had that underdog mentality. Growing up where I did, this weekend, this this university that I'm a little 15 minutes away called Murray State. Usually in basketball, we play a lot of number one, number two seeds, and we actually not, we've beat teams that we're not supposed to beat. And so this weekend, the baseball team did the same thing the basketball team and beat two Power Five conferences. And so I hang my hat on that type of stuff because I'm an underdog. I'm from where people say, hey, you don't have shoes and all these kind of jokes because I live in Kentucky. But that's the truth is we have to know where we're from to know where we're going to go. And I think that's the most important thing. And so I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe this with all of my heart. God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And when you look at that with the smooth road, he's not letting people go through a smooth road so he can use you. And so I think that's where the quote lands on me. But I think that all of us have probably not had a smooth road because we're not supposed to. We've went through whatever we've had to get to our destination. So I thank you so much for having me on and having us as friends and being able to talk about these quotes. But for me, it's a very small quote, right? It's very simple, but they're so complex when you start breaking it down.
Yes, yes. And just to let you know, that was a deep quote that you had on there. That was deep. I like that. And this will be the first time Gilda's got to follow someone that's not a sailor,
Mhm.
setting this up. That was very good. Can you say that God quote again one more time?
Yeah, God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. Also,
Oh,
I am part
oh,
of
you
a
don't have to say
sailor.
anymore. You don't have to say anymore. That's all I wanted people to hear.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
also part of like the
You're
sailor
gonna say it
part.
anyway.
Yeah, I have to because of my grandpa. My grandpa has the highest honor as a deep sea diver.
All right, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
I
Hey,
just told him.
Gilda, I'm gonna let Otis deliver the quote one more time. I'm having a good time. I am learning so much from all these highly educated and philosophical people on the show. I am glad I am not the smartest person in the room. And I've surrounded myself with gifts. Gifts. God has hooked me up. Gilda, how does this quote land on you?
Grand Rising, everyone. This quote landed on me. Well, if everything comes easy to you, you will never learn to deal with difficult situations. That's how it come on me.
Right, there you go. And you made married a sailor. I'm hoping that one day that Christopher shows up in that uniform. All right. You
Short
know,
and sweet, baby. That's what I'm
short and
talking about.
sweet. Hey, Otis, before we go to
Yes, sir.
truth, for our listeners, will you give us a quote one more time?
All right. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor by FDR.
All right. Truth, Boston. This man, he is doing great things over in Boston. I can't wait till the month of June ends. This is the first day of June 2025 because football season is about to start. And I will tell you, Mr. DM, from an athlete's point of view, there's no time I've ever dressed in my uniform, stepped on the field, and said that we're supposed to win. I expect to win every single day I show up. Just remember that. So those kids at Murray State going, what the hell is he talking about? Okay, they're supposed to win. They showed up to win. That's the reason why the outcome came that way. So God did equip them with an attitude that says we are not going to be denied. So this quote, I'm going to flip it over to the truth before Lonez tells me to shut up. Truth, how's this quote land on you?
Yeah, I think so. What came up for me when I was introduced to the quote was when I think about a ship in the seas, I think about movement, right? Trying to make it through maybe a storm. Uh, but I also thought about the skill of like knowing when to just be still, right? So like when the waters are not still, like can I access some sense of stillness in myself, right? I've always been um like very ambitious and always trying to move forward, but the skill that I've had to learn in order just to maintain my sanity and in some instances just to save my life, right? I had to learn to really just be still, have an anchor, know what that anchor is, set a strong foundation and be able to move from there when it's time to move. Um, but yeah, that's really what came up for me with this quote. I'll keep it short.
Yeah, I got to put your voice on a recording. You're just so cool. He is so cool. You see, if I say that, this is the way the quote landed on me. All right, all the girls are like parts doing like this. The truth. Go ahead, talk, crew. Go ahead, talk, crew. Say it again. He says he makes good morning sounds like a proposal. All right, that's how smooth he is. Look at that. Look at that. That sounded good. Um, I'm just having fun, folks. I love my people. I will tell you, I'm an HR nightmare because I can say each and every last one of these people. I know if anything happened to me, they got my back. Okay. They will be there. All right. And I feel comfortable in this space of being surrounded with people that can scratch your back. And many of us have people that are pretenders that are in our life. And that's the reason why sometimes life is rough because, you think you got it easy and all of a sudden things start to shake, the ground starts to move and it starts to get hot. Right, Lois? Starts to get real hot. All right. So I'm talking about when temperature's rising. Oh, the thermometer is about to burst when I talk about Lonez, when she's about to release her interpretation of this quote. All right, I'm just going to buckle up, sit back, and watch it all happen. Lonez, how's this quote land on you?
Blissful rising, everyone. I like to kind of snatch what everybody says and pour it into what I have to say. So I'm going to speak to the storm inside your bones, the one that rages quietly when the world can't hear your tears. Because what they don't tell you is The calm never teaches you how to breathe underwater. The stillness don't teach you how to pray when the sky is falling. It's the chaos that carves you. It's the pressure that polishes your power. You learn who you are not when everything is perfect. But when everything is shaking and you still find the courage to stand, to sing, to sail, you realize that every wave that tried to drown you was actually an invitation for you to rise, to stretch your faith wider than the horizon, to remember that you come from warriors who could command storms with a whisper. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not lost. You are learning the ocean. And every scar, every detour, every breakdown is shaping the sailor in you. So don't curse the waves. Bless them, for they build who you become. And I just want to say this, because what I did hear out of everybody speaking is self-development, right? Success is not to be pursued. Success is searching for you. It's looking for a home. So if you work on yourself, success is evident in every step, every breath, and every place you land. And that's how this hit me.
That was amazing. That was amazing. And Otis, I feel so
I want
sorry
that
for
essay.
you.
I want
Yeah.
that. I know she wrote down the definition because she always takes it, she writes it down, and then she looked like she wrote that thing. I want that because there was a couple of quotes in there that I want.
I tell you, Larnez, I'm going to tell you, she puts it on you. And for those of you that are looking for speakers, pick one of these people and listen to their story. Hire someone instead of going and paying millions of dollars for someone that recants their story over and over again. And I'm not taking anything away from my good friend Les Brown or Tony Robinson or Mel or any of those people, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, it's closer to home when you listen to someone that is speaking your language and they live in the same neighborhood as you and they've gone through some of these rough times. All right. The only time anything is easy, all right, is when you're not breathing. All right. As long as you're breathing, there's going to be some good times and there are going to be some bad times. All right. And when you surround yourself around people that kind of smooths out the road for you, you understand why God gave this young man the voice he has. And I call him the gift. So, Otis, when it gets to that time, it's just me and you. We're wrapping up this show. How does this quote land on you? Go ahead and deliver it one more time.
Yeah, righty. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Well, basically, like everyone else has said, if you don't go through chaos, you don't know how to handle difficult situations. Thinking about the sailor, if you're weathering the storm, guess what? You will have a whole crew to support one another, to help you through the storm. If you don't have answers, ask the questions, get help. Don't go it alone, and you'll weather the storm.
Right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'm going to give my little take on this quote. Naheem?
No, I was pointing to Otis. I want that too because I know he wrote it down too. Send it to me.
All right. So, when this quote, I first saw this quote when Christopher put it in our group chat, and that's how we communicate with each other. I just sit back and think, especially after, talking personally with Truth and talk with Naheem, I think that we were probably on the same path. We, as young people, we were making some decisions that weren't popular. When you turn the pages of a book, it creates a story that sometimes people never want to read because they don't want to see the truth within them. Our lives are all filled with good times. Our life is filled with hard times. Some people adjust, some people redirect, and some people just go with the flow. This is life's thing all together. It challenges you. The difficult experiences are necessary for you to learn, for you to develop, for you to get those skills that, as Lorna says, and what I think someone else says on here, builds up resilience. Just as a person learns to read and write, and then they struggle reading and writing another language that changes their life. And all of a sudden, when the smoke clears, here you go, speaking 5 languages, sitting up there with an Austin Wilson play, when the nights were long and you were calling friends to go over lines with you, and all of a sudden you get up and 9, 10, 50 of your friends are standing there looking at, seeing what you do, and you deliver, and people are standing up because you're doing something that no one else would do. All right? It's hard. Life is hard. Life is not fair. Life is not easy. All right? But the one thing that you have to realize, that life is life. And if you're not living your life on your terms, all right, it becomes difficult because someone else is imposing their will on you. It's like taking a free throw. They don't count how many times Bucket Shaq missed. They count how many times he made it and he won a championship. You know, they don't go through the fact that when you run 3 championships, 4, he's got the rings to prove it. We don't count the auditions that they said we weren't good enough. We just read the copy of the play that's when someone hired us and the people showed up. You know, when we get an opportunity to reach that one student, even though we have many, it's that one student that justifies the reason why you put so much time and energy in teaching that person. You know, when you look at that voice that someone has given you and you sit there, you remain silent, life gets hard because God has given you a gift and you didn't challenge yourself to exercise that gift and put it out into the world. And when you get a second chance and you come up and you tell the truth to open doors for other people that can't see the light in the darkest of days, you start building programs over in Boston like Truth Boston does. And when you're standing over 6 foot tall and you know you look good in a uniform and the prettiest girl is looking at you, hey, everyone wishes we could be the truth and Christopher over there with Gilda. All right. So, you know, this is what this quote landed on me. It's about the easy lessons of life that we make tough. You must be able to adjust and then dump some of the dumb stuff. Adversity is crucial to your gift, your growth, and your strength. So this is how the quote landed on me. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we want to thank you for tuning in. I hope that at least one of us has said something that has connected to you. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're the only podcast that I know that if you go in on our YouTube page at RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page, you can click on there. You can come in and be a guest. I will tell you that we start at 9 a.m. On time. So if you're late, next week is always a good time. But you know, we enjoyed this. So I will say this to you. My grandfather always said, when you get to a position that you can help someone else out, he said it's your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, we what?
Fade to black.
All right.
Make sure you come back.
All right.
Fade to black and make sure you come back.
There you go. All right. Until next week, guys. We look forward to it. We're going to bring you another dynamic quote. We're going to have some fun. Like I said, good times, bad times, and hard times. That's just life. All right. And we're out.